And welcome to Studio 5, The Life of Aretha Franklin. New music from Connick Jr. Food fails, serve up a healthy dose of television fun. And we're counting down the 5 big stories in the world of uplifting entertainment. Let's begin with the countdown. At number 5.
And the Grammy goes to Casey Bether, Jonathan Smith, and Zach Williams.
Zach Williams scores his second Grammy win.
Every minute, every moment, where I've been or where I'm going.
For Best Contemporary Christian Song, alongside Dolly Parton for the single, There Was Jesus.
Without God, obviously, none of this is possible. This is Jonathan here, and I think I can speak for myself and Casey. We are so grateful for this opportunity. We want to thank Dolly Parton for being a champion from day one.
Tell me about this project, There Was Jesus, and to be nominated with, of all people, the legendary Dolly Parton.
Yeah, I mean, this is a special song for me. I mean, this is very much my story. If I think back to the last 20 years that it took me to get to where I'm at in my life.
Other Grammy wins, Jonathan McReynolds and Molly Music for Best Gospel Song, P.J. Morton for Best Gospel Album, Kanye West for Best Contemporary Christian Album, and the Fisk Jubilee Singers for Best Roots Gospel Album. At number 4, it's another Grammy moment, Tiffany Haddish winning Best Comedy Album, and how she learned of her win.
Tiffany Haddish found out that she won the Grammy for Best Comedy Album while filming the CBS show that she hosts, Kids Say the Darndest Things. This is how it happened.
I'm just happy with being nominated, personally.
I've been nominated a couple times.
You say, what?
You've been nominated a couple times.
Yeah, I've been nominated a couple of times for some things.
But I just
and
won a Grammy.
I just what?
You just won a Grammy.
Love being nominated.
I just won a Grammy?
No.
Are you serious?
I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth.
Wait. Y'all see this thing in my ear? Y'all see this in my ear?
Tell them all you just won a Grammy. Congratulations. You just won the Best Comedy Album.
Y'all serious?
I'm serious. There's no lie. This is for real.
I really won?
Woo-woo.
And now that we've jump-started our countdown, we want to turn our attention to the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. She's the focus of Genius, National Geographic's Emmy-winning series, dramatizing the stories of the world's most brilliant innovators. When this season begins on Sunday, it will explore Aretha Franklin's musical genius. And in a starring role is Hollywood triple threat, Tony, Emmy, and Grammy Award-winning Cynthia Erivo. She's in Studio 5 to give us our first look at her performance in Genius, Aretha.
Hey, marker.
Here we go. And action.
The Queen of Soul.
I was looking the word up, genius, an exceptional quality. So, of course, Aretha Franklin has an exceptional quality. She has her beautiful voice, her amazing and brilliant piano playing, and she's the first American in the series, the first woman, the first person of color, and she was able to alchemize her life into sonic gold.
My singing voice has always been my guardian angel.
So we go from Harriet Tubman to Aretha Franklin. I've read that you say you have the pleasure of playing women who've marked history with brilliance. How would you say Aretha Franklin has marked our history with brilliance?
Well, the long catalog of music that she shared with us, not just because of the songs that they were and the music that they gave us, but because of the stories they were telling. She was able to use the experiences in her life, use the emotions that she had, and infuse her music with it. And so we got to get to know her through these pieces of music. We gonna look good, we gonna feel good, yes. And she taught, if we as businesswomen in the music industry, Black women in the music industry, she taught us how to stand up for ourselves, really. And I hope people get that from watching this, that she really wanted to be a valued part of the creation of her music. And that's part of her, only part of her brilliance, on top of which she was an activist, both a feminist and for civil rights. To do all of that whilst being an artist is really very special.
My father said, come on home. My doctor
King tonight.
Think about what Dr. King is trying to achieve for the Negro.
With your father and your husband by your side, I mean, who's calling the shots?
I think you have all been reading a few too many gossip columns.
When you sing respect, tell us.
Just give us a juicy story. Look,
I'm trying to envision and imagine the pressure on you to deliver, knowing that this is also one of your heroes, correct?
Yes, very much so. And I've said it many times, but this is the simple truth. It's just a huge, overwhelming sense of responsibility because you really want to tell the story as fully, as truthfully, and as honestly as you can. And like, there was a still small voice in my head trying to make sure that we don't lean into mimicry or play pretending. I really wanted to try and be in the moment every time we were doing a scene, tell the story as fully as I could, listen to the music and listen for all the details of the work that she had put in these songs. Yeah, there's a huge responsibility, but it's not one that I take lightly, and actually I relish. You know, that's where the work begins, where you actually have to put the work in to tell the story.
I'm going to put our trust in the Lord. I will trust in the Lord. Come on, say, I will trust in the Lord. I will trust.
A beautiful part of Aretha's life for many fans is her gospel connection as well. I think she still has the best-selling gospel album of all time. How connected were you to that part of the story?
Oh, very. Strangely enough, I was listening to gospel when I was a little girl because I don't know why, but I recognized the voices, and there's something in, because I'm Nigerian, there's something in the Nigerian culture that calls to the very root of where gospel begins, and it's the rhythm, it's the sounds, it's the songs that we sing. There are so many songs that are current and known now that Nigerians have been singing in their plainest ways, and then they come together and they make this new sound that I've always been connected because I recognize myself in them. And so to hear that the root of where she began, the root of what we know now, really was gospel. Just to go back to sing some of those songs really just felt good. It just feels good. You know, there's just a connection there.
That's why we celebrate her. She's the queen of soul. Your soul, mine, everybody's.
And the 4-night limited series event premieres Sunday evening, March 21st at 9 Eastern on National Geographic. The episodes will stream the next day on Hulu, and it will end in a grand Aretha Franklin celebration with all 8 episodes available to stream by Thursday, March 25th, which is Aretha Franklin's birthday. She would have been 79.
And still to come.
And grace, my fears relieve.
Another musical genius.
And quite honestly, some of the songs deal with struggling with faith as much as having faith.
Harry Connick Jr. is alone with his faith.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
At number 3.
After 15 years in the Saints and 20 years in the NFL, our dad is finally going to retire. So we can spend more time with us. Yay!
It's the end of a football era. with Drew Brees announcing his retirement from the game.
Life is full of defining moments, and life is full of kind of next chapters, and I think that whenever you leave one chapter and go on to the next one, I think you hope to have left a legacy behind it where you left it better than when you found it.
Okay, you said next chapter. You said next chapter. So what's our next chapter, Drew? What you got cooking?
Well, I am going to be working for NBC. I'm part of the team now.
Yes.
A new team.
At number 2.
Grandpa, when I found the bird, I prayed. God, you made this poor little guy, so maybe you could help him out.
It's a Studio 5 first look at the film The Girl Who Believes in Miracles from a 98-year-old first-time filmmaker.
Then I saw God standing on the other side of the lake.
I always thought that you were kind of special.
You see him?
Who?
God.
You saw God and then brought a dead bird back to life.
No, I didn't. God did.
It's in theaters Easter weekend.
We've got one more story to share in the countdown. We'll bring you number 1 in just a little bit. Connick Jr. is one of the greatest voices and musicians of our time, and he's also a talented actor. But in this latest project, he's sharing a more personal side of himself, his faith. His new album is called Alone with My Faith. We sat down with him in Studio 5 to get the story behind the music.
Alone with My Faith. What gave birth to that?
I really was physically alone, but I had my faith to help get me through and continue to help get me through this time. So I wrote the song, I recorded it, and decided to, make it the title track on the album.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
I grew up, in New Orleans, and I was really lucky to have a lot of friends who played gospel music. I played gospel music. I heard liturgical music my whole life growing up in the church, and I always wanted to make a gospel album. I wouldn't call this the gospel album I had thought about making, only because it's not a collection of spirituals that everybody knows. It's got some original songs, and quite honestly, some of the songs deal with struggling with faith as much as having faith.
But now I see.
I found myself counting on my faith or questioning my faith or whatever it was, and I said, I'm gonna write about it. And so the album that I thought was going to be a gospel album, 5-10 years down the road, turned out to be this album now, because it was really helping me get through this time.
My fears relieved.
We hear you record Amazing Grace, and I understand that your daughter actually ends up directing the music video and choosing the art for this project. How did that happen? How did she get involved? And how do you feel, Dad?
I feel amazing. My wife and I have 3 daughters, and Georgia's the oldest. She's 24, and she is an amazing photographer and film director. And it came time to shoot the album cover, and I said, Georgia, I'd love for you to do it. So she took an amazing picture, and then came time to do the video for Amazing Grace. I said, you feel like working with me on this? She said, I would love to. So she found the location, she sort of mapped out her artistic vision, and I was, I thought it was terrific. I couldn't be more proud.
He will be my shield and portion as long as life endures.
What can people look forward to hearing that, you wrote as a result?
I'm a Christian, and I'm proud of my faith, but I also realize that this is a big world, and there's a lot of people in it, and I love and respect them so much, and I wanted to include them in this process too. So some of the songs are certainly from a Christian perspective, like Old Rugged Cross or Because He Lives or How Great Thou Art. But there are other songs that I wrote that are about faith in every level of faith, whether you're feeling doubtful about it or whether you're super powerfully strong about it. Those are the original songs. And I think it gives us some worth in our contemporary world because, you know, again, this is a shared experience. So these songs are written for what we're all going through together.
I think I've read you say that this was an album that you not only had to produce, but you needed to write this album. Why did you need to do this?
Well, I needed it for myself to sort of sing the songs that helped me articulate my feelings. And I also had the knowledge that maybe, if I was lucky, this music could give some other folks some comfort too.
We've no last days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
Harry Connick Jr.'s Alone with My Faith project is out this week. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and they have almost as many stories. Here's a look at this week's Studio 5 Snapshot.
Turn it up, dive in, let it play like a song from your heart to your skin.
That's a sample of the sounds, and these are the images from the uplifting musical making its way to Netflix. It's the story of a troubled teen who takes a leap of faith by attending a Christian summer camp. It's a sound worth hearing and a story worth seeing. It's called A Week Away, and it's this week's Studio 5 Snapshot. Coming up.
How do you feel about hot dogs?
I love hot dogs with ketchup.
Yeah, just that.
That's it. Yeah.
Nothing else?
Nothing else. What else?
I'm from Chicago, so you gotta add the mustard, the relish, and you gotta load it up.
Yeah.
A fun food fail favorite is back for seconds.
Orphans Promise is committed to loving and serving at-risk children, to helping keep families together, and to creating opportunities for strong and sustainable communities around the world. We're working in over 60 countries around the world, and with your help, we can do even more. There's an old African proverb I love that says, if you want to run fast, run alone. But if you want to run far, run together. At Orphans Promise, we want to run far so we can touch the lives of as many orphaned and vulnerable children as possible. But we don't want to go alone. We're out to change the world, one child, one family, one community at a time. Will you join us?
And welcome back to Studio 5. Emmy-nominated actor Kel Mitchell and comedian and rapper Tim Chaturangsu are back with a second helping of MTV's Deliciousness. Here's a look at what happens when food fails.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, hot dogs, hot dogs. How do you feel about hot dogs?
I love hot dogs with ketchup.
Yeah, just that.
That's it. Yeah.
Nothing else?
Nothing else. What else?
I'm
do you
from
put
Chicago, so you gotta add the mustard, the
Yeah.
relish, and you gotta load it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Costco special. You know, it's like they got the thing with the onions on there, and then the ketchup and mustard. You know, I even throw a little mayonnaise on my hot dogs.
So here's my question. After seeing that, are you hungry yet? Well, let's turn to two panelists from the show, Deliciousness, Kel Mitchell and Tim Chaturangsu. Thank you both for being here. My first question is this: where's the delicious?
It starts off delicious sometimes, and then then something happens, you know?
I was just gonna say that. It starts off well.
I love it. So now for both of you, we'll begin with Kel. Do you guys have any personal food fails that you're wishing don't get out there?
Oh yeah. You know, I definitely have put like, you know, a pot of lasagna inside of the stove and paid too much attention, getting distracted on my phone or something like that, came back and, you know, it was a little bit of an inferno going on in the stove. So everything got a little crispy. So it definitely happens. I mean, that's why this show is so relatable. You know what I mean? And that's why we just laugh so hard on the couch.
I might have thrown a whole pack of hot dogs in the microwave and then not realizing that the ink would melt and catch on fire and maybe almost set the apartment on fire. You know, we've all been there, you know, and that's the beauty of the show.
What's one of the biggest lessons you guys have learned? I've seen at least a sneak peek, and I see that some of us could not answer how to use a fire extinguisher and when we're supposed to use one and when we're not supposed to use water. What are some of your lessons learned here?
It's not water?
No, Tim.
How come no one ever teaches you that?
Yeah, that's definitely something I learned from the show because we see so many clips of people, things catching on fire, and then, I mean, apparently you're not supposed to put water on the fire when it's going on in the kitchen because it makes it go crazy. I learned that from watching the show. Tiffany, the host, you know, she was really drilling it into our heads, like, do not use water on the fire. And I was like, oh, okay, well.
As we look forward to this 5-night event that we're going to be able to see come Monday, we'll start with you, Tim, and then Kel. What can we expect? Because I'm thinking after last season, many of us thought, okay, you pretty much maxed out, right? What can we expect now?
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing, right? You think you're gonna run out of food clips and people failing with food, but they just keep on coming. They're endless, and you could. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, you know, after filming so many episodes, we still had clips that had our jaws on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like some big reactions, like, oh, wow, some things you would never expect. So it was crazy.
Well, gentlemen, thank you both. Want to remind folks at home, Deliciousness is back for seconds. It returns with a 1-week event on MTV, and you'll be able to catch it starting Monday. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And keep it right here. We've got much more of Studio 5 coming up. And right now, we want to take a moment to look at what finishes on top in this week's countdown. Here it is, number 1.
At number 1.
Joe, I read that the reason the whole family works is because you all put the marriage first and everything else comes after that.
America's favorite fixer-uppers, Chip and Joanna Gaines, sit down for Oprah's Super Soul Sunday, sharing stories of faith and family.
In what ways do you bring the best to each other?
She grounded me, and it's almost like the dog then saw the tennis ball or whatever and calmed down.
And Chip is always teaching me, if you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying and savoring these moments, then why are you doing it?
Just moments away.
Don't go changing to try and please me.
Harry Connick Jr. is back for a final word.
Are you suffering from feeling tired or worn out during the day? Can you not turn off your brain at night? You are not alone. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Bruce, the sleep doctor, and I've partnered with the Christian Broadcasting Network, and we're gonna bring you some unbelievable information that you can use tonight to get a better night's rest.
Wake up to your best life. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to cbn.com to get your free copy of Protect Your Sleep today.
Nutrition, exercise, essential oils, weight loss, and more. It's Healthy Living with Lori Johnson.
Talk about what's in this.
Join CBN health reporter Lori Johnson to get the latest information from today's top health experts.
This is fantastic.
Find out what you need to know to live a healthier life. Watch Healthy Living, Tuesday night at 9:30.
Woohoo! Hi, Superbook fans. Here's something else you'll love. It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh, no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! Whoa!
The Millsburg Falls man coming.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry! Excuse me! Ouch!
Are you getting this?
Earn super points to win daily prizes, too! And so much more! Time to get back to my adventures. See you soon! It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
Welcome back to Studio 5. I am truly in love with this week's soundtrack. It's not new, but it is relevant. Take a listen and hear why Kane's Rise Up is what's playing in my ear.
Rise up, take a breath, you're alive now. Can't you hear the voice of Jesus calling us out from the grave like Lazarus? You're brand new, the power of death couldn't hold you. Can't you hear the voice of Jesus calling us out from the grave like Lazarus?
Out from the grave like Lazarus, rise up. On that musical note, we are just about out of time for this week's Studio 5. Guess what? We've got an even bigger show for you next week. Take a look at just one of the stories we have on the rundown right now.
Oh, I have days to lose the fight, try my best, but just don't get it right.
We've told you Zach Williams has just added a new Grammy to his shelf. Well, he also has some more music.
I think for myself, I think a lot of times, I know for myself as a Christian artist, I kind of can beat myself up trying to feel like I have to be kind of on a pedestal 24/7.
We'll take a look at his latest single, climbing the charts.
A little more like Jesus, a little less like me.
I just wanted a song that felt real to people and to let them know that, I struggle probably more than most.
We're excited to bring you that and more come next week. As for the final word for this show, we're giving it to the jazz and faith stylings of Harry Connick Jr.
I've got today, and I'm gonna pull through, along with my faith.
If you could go back in time today and speak to young Harry, what kind of advice would you be giving that young man about the future?
Nothing. You know why? Because he wouldn't have listened. he would have said, get out of here, man. You don't know what you're talking about. So I would just look at him. I would have said, good luck. All of the experiences, good and bad, that you're about to experience are going to make you who you are down the road. So yeah, he wouldn't listen to me.
Thanks, Harry Connick Jr. That is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5 and this week's look at uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift someone else and then come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye, everybody.